Hey everybody, Mr. Shuey again. This is a distance learning video 4, and today we're going to use Scratch to start to program a Pong game. So you're going to learn some new things about coding, and you are going to do, like I said in the last video, you're going to do a little storytelling with code. How do you like this hat? This is a pork pie my wife got me in Minneapolis. So that's a fedora, and this is a pork pie. Pork pies are cool, but fedoras are kind of cheesy. So that's what you want to get. All right, here's the video. Okay, so if you open up Scratch and start a new project, you can name it Pong Game at the top. And you're going to want to delete the cat sprite down near the bottom. You just click on the garbage can and that'll go away. So now you're going to pick a new sprite. So if you type in the search bar paddle, you'll find a green line paddle, and this is for our Pong game we're going to make. And you're going to place it on the screen and drag it down to the corner about where I have it there. And now we're going to do the code for the paddle. So we're going to do block code for the paddle. And we're going to first choose when the flag is clicked, the program will start. And now we're going to do a set at, and that is the Y coordinate. So the paddle's always going to stay at that level on the screen. So it'll automatically do that for you. Just put the line where you want it. Now we're going to do a forever loop, which will make it go until you enter some code to tell the program to stop. Now we need to add something for the x-axis. So the x-axis is going to be set by the mouse. Wherever you have the mouse on the screen, the paddle will slide to. All right, let's see if you go back and forth with your mouse in the screen, it will follow that. All right, now we need to have a ball, because this is a Pong game, so the ball's right there when you go to the sprites. We're going to choose ball, and then we're going to go to the costume tab and change it to purple. It's going to show up better for our game. You'll have to go back to the code tab. And we're going to add some code for our ball sprite. So once again, we start with when flag is clicked. And we want the ball to start out at the center of the screen. So if you know your graphing from math class, the center of the graph is going to be 0, 0. So we're going to put some code in here that says go to x0, y0. So when you click the green flag, the ball will go right to the center of the screen. Pretty simple so far, right? And we're going to drag in some more code. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick an operator to stick in here, which is going to make the ball bounce like a Pong game. And it's default 1 to 10. But if you think about the radius of a circle, you got 360 degrees that this ball could go into. You'll see at the end of this video that I fine-tuned this setting a little bit, but you could start with it there. So it can go from an angle of 1 to 360 degrees. Now we're adding a control loop that's going to do this forever until we tell it to stop. And then this is called an if-then statement. And you need to sense something. So if you sense something, then something will happen. So if it touches something, if the ball touches something, it will do something. And we're going to switch that drag down to paddle. So if the ball touches the paddle, what's it going to do? We're going to have it turn 90 degrees. Now you could play around with this when you get the game set up if you want to try to change that, but it will make the ball bounce 90 degrees from the angle that it hit the paddle. All right. Now this move steps is the speed the ball will travel. So 4 is pretty good. If you want to speed the game up, you would choose a higher number. Okay, and now we're going to add some code that says if on the edge, bounce. So if it hits the edge of the screen, it will bounce off the screen. And you see how I click the green flag and the ball's acting like it's supposed to and the paddle's acting like it's supposed to. So far so good. Now the trouble is this is a pretty simple game, so what we're going to do is we're going to add some hot lava at the bottom of the screen, and the goal of the game is to keep the ball from hitting the hot lava. So how do we do that? Well, let's see. I'm letting the ball bounce around a little while. See right there, it bounced off the bottom. We don't want that. So we're going to go over to the stage area. You got to click on the stage area to the right. And we're going to change the color for the fill and the outline all the way to the right so it's 100% red. For the fill and the outline, need to be 100% red. And then we're going to choose that little square tool at the bottom of our toolbar there. And we're going to make a red line across the bottom of the screen. So this is the hot lava. And you can see if you look at the screen on the right, you can see if it looks right. And your paddle should be just above it or right on top of it. And that's the goal of the game, is to keep the ball from hitting the red line. All right, now we have to add the code that will stop the game if the ball does hit the red line. So we're going to click on the ball sprite, activate the ball sprite code, and we're going to add a little bit more code to that. So we have another loop, and it's going to sense. It's going to sense when you touch a color. Now, if you click on the little color dot on the code bar, at the bottom of that you'll see like an eyedropper, and if you click on the eyedropper on the red line, it'll select that color red, which is what you want to do. And now we need a control. So it's going to be stop all. Now it's kind of a lot going on right there, and you can just look at the code then on the YouTube video and make sure your code matches. And you might want to adjust some things. Like one of the things that I noticed was I didn't like the angle, because this would just bounce sideways all the time. So I had to go back to the second step that says point in direction, and I had to play around with those numbers in there. I didn't want to leave it at 1 because it would just go back and forth. So I changed it to 8, and then I believe I changed it to 240 eventually. So there's going to be more to this video, but I didn't want to do it all today, because what we're going to need to do is have our program keep score. And at that point we'll be done with Scratch for a while, and I'll probably move on to something else. So if you have any questions, make sure you email me. If I don't get an email from people by the end of the weekend, I am going to be calling home on Monday. I got to make sure you guys are on track with these assignments. So I'll see you later.